catch someone of a photo cleanly today on Call for Help.
Hello, welcome back. Call for Help time. I'm Leo Laporte, and this is episode 498 of a show that is completing an 8-year run. That was Nicola Ciccione, who is one of our great camera guys, and all this month we've been having the various behind-the-scene folks, people introduce the show, kind of a way of acknowledging the great job that they do. You know, I sit in front of the camera with Sean and Mike and Amber and Monica and Callie and the various people who do this show. But there are so many more behind the scenes, and they really make it happen. So we thank each and every one of them. Today, a great show for you. We're going to show you how to use technology to make it your own, whether it's for fun or profit. Alex Lindsay's here. He's going to show you how to take a picture and, you know, just remove the subject. We're gone to the days when you would just take a picture of the boyfriend and the girlfriend and you break up and you tear it in half and you throw one half away. Oh no, much more sophisticated techniques now, thanks to Photoshop. Alex will show us how. Franklin Harris is here too. You've probably heard of TiVo or Apple or Apple's TV and Microsoft's Media Center, but there are free and very powerful ways to get your computer to record TV shows, playback TV shows. Frank's going to show us two of the best, Myth TV and Not Myth. Actually, it's really one of the best. They're both Myth TV, but two different ways of making Myth work. You won't want to miss this, if I might coin a phrase. But they call it Call for Help for one simple reason. Those calls for help. Let's get our first call on the air right now. Tony's on the line from Edmonton, Alberta. Hello, Tony, and welcome to Call for Help.
How you doing, Leo?
I am doing very well. Say hello to Basil Cowarts on camera numero uno. He's numero uno in our hearts. What can I do for you today?
Okay, I had a computer virus on my computer a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And I had to reinstall Windows, and it took a couple days.
Isn't that a pain?
It is.
I'm glad you did that, though, because really that's the best way to get rid of a virus. You can use an antivirus and disinfect, but once your system is compromised, you never really know that you're safe unless you erase it.
Exactly.
And start over, yeah.
The thing is, I've installed Windows on the Dell computer and Compaq on my...
Far too many times, I'm sure, yes.
Yeah, and the thing is, it only takes like a couple hours.
Oh, because you use those recovery disks.
They have those, the software that comes with it.
Yep.
And it comes with applications, all the stuff.
Yep.
But my computer is a custom computer, and it takes like one at a time. And
yeah.
I like to make CDs like those.
You want to make your own system recovery disks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's a great idea. I do that exact thing. We've done that for years on the TV show, too, because it's a fast way to restore. Yeah. Forget an hour. It takes 5 minutes to restore one of these computers because I make what's called an image. So once you get the system just right, you've gotten Windows installed, activated, updated, all the applications installed, all the drivers updated, you know, your documents, your settings, everything's just the way you want it.
Exactly.
You know, you kind of wish, boy, I wish I could just keep it this way forever, because I know it's running at its peak right now.
Yeah.
And it will never be this good again. You know, it slowly degrades over time. That's the time to make an image file. The image file is, it's like a freeze-dried version of your hard drive. It's exactly the way the hard drive is, all compressed down into one blob that you can then very quickly restore. And you know, the beauty of having activated Windows is you don't have to reactivate it. I mean, it just makes everything so much simpler.
Yeah, I can't make CDs, eh?
You sure can. I'm going to show you how you do it. You need a program to do this. Norton Ghost is one. There are quite a few. I got one that I like. Steve Gibson recommended this for me, and I've been using it for a long time. It's called Drive Snapshot. It's drivesnapshot.de, okay?
Okay.
And this is fairly inexpensive, and I can't remember how much I paid, but it wasn't too much. Let me see here. It's 39 euros. It's about 50 bucks. And but you don't even have to pay anything because you can use it free for 30 days. So what you do is you make your image. You can always restore the image without having paid for the software. It's only times out on making the image. So you can make your image with this, and you can do it while Windows is running, and then you can restore it. You can either restore it from a hard drive. You know, a good way to do this, and the way we do it on the TV shows, we have 2 hard drives in every computer. That makes it faster. But you can also make a DOS boot disk, and have it automatically restore, just as those system recovery disks do. So you can make a boot CD-ROM. It has the small drive snapshot on it. The drive snapshot file is 137K. It's tiny. And you can even have a command line that says when you install that and run that disk, when you boot to that disk, it automatically runs it, and it will restore the system. Now, there's a couple of things we've learned about with this that will make this a little bit easier. So we're going to back up disk to file. This is the program. It'll work again for 30 days. One of the things you might want to play with, so we're going to back up our C drive. One of the things you might want to play with here is the size of the files you're making. And the reason is, if you want to burn it to a CD or burn it to a DVD, you're going to actually want to divide it up into CD-sized chunks.
Yeah.
So in this case, I'm saying, and this is actually the default, that it makes a maximum sized file of 650 megabytes. So it might, let's say you have, a 10 gigabyte installation. It might make, out of this, it might make 10, 15 disks. Okay. Then you put on the first disk, make that a boot disk, and put the first file on there, and then put the rest of the files on subsequent disks. You'll have to do that by hand. But now you have a, say, 10 disk set that restores everything exactly the way it was.
Yeah, that's the way I want.
And now once you've done that, you don't have to pay for the program anymore, even if it runs out, because you can always, that restore disk will always work. I would suggest paying for it because here's one problem with doing this is that periodically things change. There's big updates. You find a program you like better, or you go from Office 2003 to Office 2007, something like that.
Yeah,
you want to create
you
want to create a new image, right? So it's worth buying it so you can always create a new image. There's one other thing that I really, really like about this. You can browse through the contents of the image file. So let's say you just want one file in your image file. You can actually open it up in this program and pull that one file out. You can't do that with Norton Ghost. Well, actually, you can now. I think Norton added that feature. But I just think they've done, Tom Ellert, who wrote this, has done such a great job. This is the program for making these recovery disks, okay?
Great.
Tony, that's it. DriveSnapshot.de.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I do it, and I completely recommend it. In fact, what I do it with every time I get a new computer, I do all that stuff, updates, add the apps that I like and everything. I just did this with my Mac, and I immediately make an image of it so that I can always go back to that point.
Okay.
All right?
Can I ask one more question?
Certainly.
Yeah, that Parallel, is that only for Mac?
No, they make a version for Windows and Linux as well.
Okay.
But it won't run Macs on Windows.
Oh, that's great. So I can use it on my PC then.
Yeah, but not to run Macs, only to run other versions of Windows. Okay?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Parallels.com. It's a wonderful
Thanks a lot.
program. Hey, thanks for the call. It's great for running Linux on a Windows PC, for instance. That's a very common use. Or running Windows 98 on Windows XP, that kind of thing. Get down, get funky. Coming up after the break. Do you have a beautiful photo that's marred by some ugly person you don't like? Hey, that's not nice. Calling me an ugly person. Here's how to get rid of them and save the gorgeous background with ease. Tips on that when we come back from the break. Alex Lindsay's here. You stay right here. Welcome back to Call for Help. Well, I got it all wrong. I was so busy disco dancing, I completely confused what Alex is wants to do here. So let me explain a little bit better. If you have a photo and you have something in the foreground, some good-looking person like moi in the foreground, and you want to put something different in the background, you can take the person and put them in a new background. Is that right?
That's correct.
Alex Lindsay is from the Pixel Core. He's going to explain how to take this lovely golden retriever and put it somewhere else.
Well, and the thing to notice about this lovely golden retriever is there's a couple
It's got lots of hair. That's one problem.
And in some of the other episodes, I've showed green screen.
Yes.
So I've talked
this is
about
similar, isn't it?
It's similar, but
except there was no green screen.
And that's the problem. See, green screen or blue screen allow us to do it really easily.
Right.
But when you get into something where there isn't a color, a specific color that we can get rid of, especially when it's like a monochrome that's in everything, it becomes much more complicated. And then to add insult to injury, we've got all of this little hair in here.
Sticking out.
We don't want to.
So it's good to pick a dog. This makes it very challenging.
Yeah, this is a very very challenging shot. And so this is a plugin I just kind of ran into.
Okay.
and this is called Easy Mask.
Now this is for Photoshop?
This is for Photoshop,
Okay.
and it's done by Digital Film Tools. And
You are using the new CS3?
I'm using CS2.
So
Yeah,
this looks
so-
like CS2, not
Yeah,
CS3.
this is I'm sticking with CS2 on this one.
You're an old-fashioned kind of guy.
I am. It'll take me a little while to get to turned over. So,
I actually like CS3. I've been using it
Have
on
you-
my
have-
PowerBook.
have
Yeah,
you been
my
enjoying it?
MacBook. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I haven't.
Lot faster.
Moved over. Yeah. So here you can see the interface. So yeah.
Can we just take the
Oddly-
tongue and put it somewhere?
Yeah, we probably could if we wanted
That's a
to.
good tongue.
Try
Look
that
at
out.
that tongue.
That's a lot of tongue.
Wow.
So what we want to do is that this works a little bit like the extract tool in Photoshop, except the extract tool never actually really works.
Yeah, I always try to use it, and you kind of trace around it with that green line, and it never works.
Right. No.
It's terrible.
So what you do here, and this one you don't have to do nearly as much. We're going to create another green line just like we would with that, and we're just going to draw this line like this, and we're just going to go.
Oh, but you're not doing it on the edge now.
Nah,
Boy,
that's
that's rough.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So I just do that. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what I want to keep.
Definitely want to keep that.
And then I'm going to say, you know what? I don't want to keep anything out here. I don't want to keep
This is really
anything out here,
easy
and I don't
to
want
do
to keep
rough.
anything out here. So now I could really get in and look at those edges with the blue, but I'm not going to do that right now. And so I'm just going to try this and just see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and say.
If this does a good job with that little effort, I'm going to be impressed.
So what it's doing now
Wow.
is it's building basically what we would call a core mat, and then also this is the edge mat, and this is what we do a procedural garbage mat. So it's doing that all for you.
The black is we definitely don't want.
And there-
Hey, wow.
Yeah.
Holy camole. Now, now wait a minute, we should see what that looks like, though, because there's some stuff that...
There's a little bit of stuff in there, and it's still processing a little bit.
still working.
But now
This is brilliant.
But now I can go in there and do some fine tuning. Like there's a little bit of the hair up here.
Yeah.
And I could go, you know what? I want to, let me add just a little bit. You know, we really
More green there.
wanted to knock some
We
of
like
that
that
out.
part, yeah.
So let's try to process that, and it'll go through that process again.
I'm getting smarter.
So I've told it, work on that just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And here you can see get rid of it. But you can see how we can
better.
kind of clean it up. Now this is set to low resolution too, so that we can do it a little bit faster.
Okay.
But what we can do here is if we can click on it here.
So higher resolution would take more time but do a better job.
Right, exactly. But here it is over a background, so it'll composite if you have something
Whoa.
already in the background.
Holy cow.
Now here's the other
You
thing.
moved the dog.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, just boom.
And you know what? That's pretty good. I think you'd have to use
I
a
said this is a
magnifying
low
glass.
res preview, and let me just tell it that we're done.
We're done.
And now it's going to go and do it. Now it's going to take a couple.
Taking the
take a little
dog
time
from
to do
the
that.
Arctic to the beautiful Heidi country of Switzerland.
Exactly. Now,
Yes.
one of the things that it does that's important is that if you use the extract tool or use a lot of the other tools, what they do is there's a lot of this stuff where this hair, the
compares
pixels,
so
half the pixel
Yeah.
is part of the background, and half
Right.
it's part of the foreground, and that becomes really complicated. What they do is they actually take that where that mat is, and they kind of expand a little bit of whatever the foreground color is, just so all the pixels around it.
Oh,
and what that
interesting.
means is it gets rid of that edging, that
Yeah.
kind of that hard edge.
halo that
yeah,
you
the
see
halo.
around it, yeah.
So they actually do, Easy Mat actually does this fairly effectively, where it'll actually take that halo and get rid of it by using the pixels that are definitely in the mat.
If this works, I mean, that was so easy. Look at that.
Pretty good.
Wow. I don't see any
Lot of
problems.
little hair. And we didn't really do any work. We didn't try to refine it. We could have
No.
used, if there was more problem, we could have used more problematic.
Moly.
Yeah, it's
What's this called again?
called Easy Mat,
How much?
Easy Mask, and it's by Digital Film Tools. I think it's $150. I think.
But if you had one or two jobs where you had to do this, that would be it paid for
Exactly,
itself.
and if you're doing, if you even, at that price, even if you're doing a lot of the stuff at home and you want to have a lot of fun, an advanced amateur, prosumer,
right,
not if you're just doing average fixing in Photoshop, but
That's
if you really
pretty
want to,
impressive. I mean, you did that very quickly.
and without any real expertise. Just kind of go, ooh, 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 and that was my reaction. So
Wow.
I thought I might bring it out here and
Wow.
show it.
I'm looking at the edges and the hair and everything. It looks
that's
like-
what makes it complicated is all this little hair and everything else, and it's
If you
not,
just glanced at it, I don't think you would be able to tell that that was done in any way artificially. That looks. And by the way, that underscores a point that people really have to remember in this day and age. Don't trust a photo.
not at all. No, yeah.
If you were, saying, "Where were you, Mr. golden retriever on the day of February 31st,
well, you can see he was actually in the valley.
I was in the valley, man. What are you talking about? Look, I've got a picture to prove it. What are you crazy? I wasn't anywhere near. So
when you see it, it's not even requires a lot of expertise at this point.
It looks good.
It really pulls it right through, and so it's this is a great, as I said, it's a great tool if you're really trying to just if you're doing a lot of these and you don't have that green screen, you don't have to, it's one of the better tools I've seen.
I want a copy of that. I'll get one. I'm going to buy that right now. If you want to know more about it, you go to our website. We've got links, all the details, the name of the program, where to find it, callforhelptv.com. Now, you want to know more about this cat. This guy, and when I say cat, I don't mean dog. This guy is the king of the Pixel Corps. They take people, train them, show them how to use programs like Photoshop, 2D and 3D, teach them how to work in film, work in audio, work in podcasting, and then help you get jobs too. And it's not a school. It's a guild of artists, of content artists. It's really quite amazing. Pixelcorps.com. Now I want to give you our tech quiz question of today. Are you ready? Here we go. Who was the Dvorak keyboard named after? Antonin Dvorak, Vernon Dvorak, August Dvorak, or John C. Dvorak? Or is it Dvorak? /block. Get to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it when Coming Up. Continue. Welcome back to Call for Help. We head now to beautiful Edmonton, where Vin is on the line. Hello, Vin.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good, and yourself?
Oh, I couldn't be better. What can I do for you?
I have a problem with my audio and sound feedback.
Okay, what happens? What's going on?
When I speak to someone over like MSN, webcamming, they always hear themselves.
They get the echo back.
Yeah.
That's very common. Anytime you use a voice over the internet application, you're using a headset or no?
Just a headset, yeah.
Like a microphone?
Yeah.
But you're using your computer's speakers?
Yes.
Yeah. What happens, and it's bad on a voice over internet because of the lag. So it's a weird echo because it's like a second or two later. You feel like you're Lou Gehrig going, today, I consider. You're in a big stadium, right? There's a long lag on the echo.
Yep.
That's exactly what's causing. My recommendation, and it's very simple, get a pair of headphones. You can use your iPod's earbuds or any kind of little earbuds or whatever. Even if you're using the laptop's mic, wearing headphones will eliminate that immediately. It's very common. We get that problem with Skype too. And it's particularly annoying because of the lag. And your friends will really complain about it, right?
Hey, what if I wear headphones? Sometimes I do wear headphones and they still get it back.
Well, if you're still hearing it, it's because you're not channeling all the audio to the headphones. So make sure you go into the settings for MSN or whatever and you say audio output device, headphones, not speakers. If anything's coming through the speakers, you're going to get that. Now, if you take out the headphones and it's dead quiet and nothing's coming back, it could sometimes happen in software. There's be an issue with the software, but almost always it's because of a speaker's feeding back through the microphones. So have you tried that? Have you said, let's put in headphones and then make sure that nothing's coming out of the speakers? Are you sure there's nothing coming out of the speakers?
There's nothing coming out of the speakers.
So when you take out the headphones, you don't hear them?
I don't hear them.
You're sure of it?
I'm sure.
And you still get the echo?
Yep.
I suppose it could be possible that the software is somehow feeding itself back. I would look in that case, what may be happening is that your mixer, look in your mixer for your audio and make sure that you have disabled, that in other words, that the audio from you is not feeding back into a input some way. What kind of sound card? Do you have some sort of oddball sound card?
I'm not sure what kind of sound card I have.
Yeah, I would look at your mixer. You know, nowadays sound cards have gotten so complicated. It's conceivable that somehow you have this feeding back through into the audio input. That's in effect accomplishing the same thing as having an open pair of speakers would do. But in this case, it's not speakers, it's actually happening in the computer in software. So make sure that the input device is the microphone, that there is no other audio up, and the output device is your earphones, and that no audio is being channeled back into the microphone except what's plugged into the microphone port. That will all be available in your mixer. You just go to your control panel, go to sound, speech, and audio devices, and if you adjust the system volume, you'll see that you can go in there and mess with that. That's got to be the, it's a variety of different software it happens with?
Not really. I just use one.
Which program?
What do you mean, which program?
What software is it happening with?
With just MSN and TeamSpeak.
Oh, you use two. It's happening both in TeamSpeak and MSN?
Yeah.
Okay, well then we know it's not MSN or TeamSpeak. It must be your audio settings. So go back into that mixer, make sure it's not feeding back. Okay, Vin?
All right.
Hey, I thank you for the call. Yeah, I'm thinking that it's actually speakers open. Almost certain. Hey, we're going to take a break. We'll come back with more of your calls in just a little bit. Stay right here. Leo Laporte on Call for Help. Don't go away. Welcome back to Call for Help. Claude is on the line from Ottawa, Ontario. Hello, Claude.
Hey, Leo. How are you doing?
I am very well, sir. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm looking at possibly developing video training sessions.
Okay.
And I'm looking to find out two things. One, what formatting would be most recognized on anyone's system?
Okay.
And what applications are out there for me to use? I've never done any of this, but I've seen it, obviously.
Oh, boy, you called the right place.
I mean, get myself involved.
Everybody in this room practically does a video podcast. I mean, now here's the question: how are you going to distribute this on the internet or via CD, DVD? How are you going to distribute it?
It'll be in one of our forum areas, so it'll be on the internet.
Online.
Yes, sir.
When you're saying what's the most accessible video format online, you're talking about?
You got it.
I think there's pretty much no question nowadays that if you want to make sure that the largest number of users can see it with the least amount of trouble, it's going to be the same one YouTube uses and NBC and CBS and everybody else. It's Flash.
Flash, eh?
Yeah, because Flash works on every platform. It pretty much works out of the box. Occasionally, somebody will install a new browser and will say, well, you got to get Flash, but pretty much everybody knows how to do that. And if anybody's watching video on the net at all, they're almost certainly using Flash, even though there are many other formats. Now, it may not be the highest quality. It may have other issues associated with it, but it's certainly kind of the universal language for video on the net. And that's only become recently. It's only since Macromedia or actually Adobe now, made it so easy to put Flash up on the net. But I should ask Alex Lindsay because he's my video guru. He's here, of course, the Pixel Core guy, but he does all the video production for my podcast channel, does a lot for other people as well. You don't do stuff in Flash.
I don't.
Why do you not do stuff in Flash?
There's a couple reasons that we don't do stuff in Flash. Primarily, it's because H.264 looks better.
Yeah,
so for the same file
in terms
size.
of quality. But now, if you put a H.264, they're QuickTime movies, right? Put them up on the page, and somebody comes there with Windows. At least half the time they got to download QuickTime, right?
Well, I mean, it depends on how much video they're watching on the web. Most people, well, I have an opinion that if my content isn't good enough for someone to go download a free plugin, it's not good enough.
That's because you're a content creator and he's going to do training, right?
Well, I do a lot of training. You know, so we have we have been for the last 5 years only putting stuff up on QuickTime, and we get very little resistance. I mean,
does Flash look that much worse than QuickTime?
It does, especially
does it have to?
It's going to take the screen grabs that you're doing, if you're doing video training. If you're doing screen grabs, it's going to beat them up a lot more than QuickTime.
Claude, do you have screenshots that you want people of computers?
Not just screenshots, but even more so, I'd like to show them actually the application and go through the application with it itself.
Okay, see, so this is computer training you're doing.
So if you
Flash would be bad for that. You can't see the screen very well.
It can beat it up. It's not that you can't get the quality out of Flash to make it look good, but the problem that you're going to get into is that for the same size, the Flash is going to be the H.264 is going to look a lot nicer than Flash. That's if you make Flash look as good as H.264,
it's as big.
It's going to be 2, 3, 4 times as big.
Oh, bigger.
So it's going to be a lot bigger than, I mean, as far as file size goes, which is going to cost you in bandwidth. Which if you have a successful training site, I mean, it's that can turn into a lot of money.
I'm showing right now a full Flash video from YouTube, full screen, and you can see the colors are smeared. Even the text is kind of a little smeared. You don't get the detail. And if you had a screenshot on there, you probably really wouldn't be able to follow
It's
along.
the fine detail that's
It's fine
really
for a
problematic.
TV show like this.
Right.
So what application creates H.2.64 videos?
QuickTime Pro.
QuickTime Pro?
Yeah, so
And that's Mac or Windows.
Mac
it's
or
only
Windows.
about $30.
Yeah. Now, once you get when you start building training, there's a whole lot of things you may want to do. You may want to make it interactive. In that case, you may want to look for something like LiveStage Pro, or even Go Live, Adobe's Go Live. You may want to make it. You may want to edit it, which means you're going to use Final Cut Pro or iMovie. Those are all things that you have to kind of think about.
That's our high-end guy. Now I want to ask Sean Carruthers, because he does Lab Rats, which is a video podcast, labrats.tv. You do your stuff in a variety of formats. What's your favorite format?
Well, our favorite format for sending out in terms of quality is still H.264.
QuickTime H.264. We're getting some universal agreement on that. Franklin Harris says yes, same thing.
I did want to point out one thing about screen capturing and training is one of the things you might want to use for your screen grabs is something called Camtasia Studio, which can capture the screen. And I should say that this is one of our sponsors, but I just love this program.
Right.
You can actually render it out in Flash. And one of the nice things about this is even for things where it's going in close and you can't see it necessarily on Flash, you can actually use Camtasia to zoom in on the part that you want to highlight, so that sort of compensates a little bit for part of that.
That's for Windows. On the Mac, we use Snapseed Pro, which I really like. Snapseed Pro X, which I really like.
Yeah, Snapseed Pro or iShowU.
iShowU?
Those are not. iShowU is $20 and not quite as stable, and Snaps is $80.
So I'm
Mac.
showing here the H.264 version of Lab Rats. See if you can remember what you saw with the Flash. This is full screen with H.264, and you can see a huge difference.
Yeah, and we've got these up online
difference.
as well in Flash on the same site at labrats.tv, so you can compare them and see how they will stack up H.264 versus Flash.
I mean, that looks like TV.
And
is the file size much different in Flash and with this quality H.264?
We're not doing the Flash on site, so I'm not sure what the file sizes are, to be honest.
the one thing that I would suggest is limiting the number of formats that you put your training out in.
I agree, because you can really confuse people.
You really get into this thing where you want to make it available for everyone. But if people are really interested in your training, they'll figure it out. If you really
exactly. And I don't want to
training.
go through the steps, because obviously this is just an alternative for me physically having to travel across Canada to give these training sessions.
So make it easy for
I want to
yourself.
be able to capture a few of them video formats so that I could just post it online, and the users can just go get it as a refresher or even as a new user in preparation for the class.
I think for what you're doing, you don't care so much if they see you, right, Claude? You want them to see the application?
Although it would be nice, I'm certainly not in any interest of posting my mugshot out there.
I'm gonna say what you want to do is what's sometimes called a screencast, which is a video, but it's just you can use your audio. You can talk while you're recording.
Yeah.
But you just record the screen, and that way you get the best quality of the screen. So if it's Mac, Snapseed Pro does that. And if it's Windows, Camtasia does that and does a very good job of that. There's another tool that a lot of trainers use. It is an Adobe tool called Captivator?
I think Captivate.
Captivate. Not Captivator. That would be a terrible name for something. Captivator! Darth Vader. Captivate is specifically designed to do this. You can try it free for 30 days, and I think I might do that. It was a program that Adobe bought and adjusted, and specifically for training.
Oh, that sounds like it would suit me much better.
Yeah, and it does integrate with Flash, but I think you could probably do it in other formats as well. It records the screen, audio capture as well. I certainly would take a look at that. This is, I know, used by a lot of pros, and because you could try Camtasia free for 30 days as well. So I would try both for free and see if they do the job that you want them to do.
Now, the one you just mentioned, Leo, is it Temptation Studio?
Nope. Camtasia Studio, Camtasia. It's from TechSmith.com.
Oh, okay.
And then Captivate is from Adobe.com.
Yes.
And those are the two Windows applications we recommend. And
yeah, I'm using Windows.
Yeah, so
not
you're
to knock
use
down Mac because I love Mac, but at the current moment I'm working strictly on a PC. So
it's all right. You're not hurting my feelings.
So, I didn't want to do that. That's for sure.
You didn't
now
hurt my
the
feelings.
Captivate, does it render your final product in H.2.64?
You know, that's a good question. I would suspect because it's Adobe that it probably goes. I know it goes to Flash. I don't know what other forms it supports, but it is there. You know, it's interactive. They have rollovers. They have instructional feedback. They have a lot of the features that trainers are specifically looking for. I mean, it's really designed. But I think it probably comes out as an AVI. I'm not sure, but I suspect it does an AVI.
Yeah, I wouldn't want something that would be too complicated for the user to even have to click a lot.
Well,
I want
most
them
of your
simply to click, start it, and sit back and listen.
Most of your users are using Windows then.
That's correct, yes.
Oh, well, AVI will always, you know, with WMV, the Windows media format will always play back on Windows. The only time it becomes a problem is when you want Mac people to use it as well. But if you know everybody's going to be using Windows, then there's no reason not to use an AVI format or a WMV format. So anyway, I would take a look at Captivate specifically because it's got kind of these training features that you're looking for.
Yes.
Yep. And
That's
it's free
perfect.
for 30 days. All right?
Well, thank you very much,
So
Leon.
3 opinions. I hope we haven't overwhelmed you.
No, not at all.
Alex is doing a lot of interactive stuff with H.264 and QuickTime. It's really kind of amazing what you can do in there. But it's a little, you got to know what you're doing. You got to get special software. It's some effort. Captivate kind of bundles that all into one big blob.
Right.
You can do easily. Thanks, Claude.
Thank you.
See ya. Say hi to our control room. Wave to them as we pass by. We'll be back after a short commercial break. Don't go away.
Dissolver 10. Controllers up. Stand by the icon. On the icon. 6. Start commercials. 4. 3. Roll commercial. 2. Ready blast. 1. Stage again.
Well, we're having some fun now. Shane's on the line from Edmonton, Alberta. Another caller from Edmonton. Hello, Shane. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Oh, very well. What can I do to help you in your time of trouble?
I bought a new Mac. I've never owned a Mac before in my life. I just bought an iMac 20.
How exciting. Do you like it?
I love it.
Great.
Love it. One of the things I have a nice collection of LP records.
Yeah.
From my youthful days, and I'd like to convert those over to MP3. And I'm looking for some sort of software, whether it's free or I have to pay for it, that I could use on the Mac.
Oh, there's lots of programs. Do you have a turntable?
I do.
Okay. For people, I'm just going to show you something because I just think it's kind of funny. For people who don't have a turntable but have a lot of LPs, Crosley. Remember the old Crosley radios? Beautiful old radios. You wouldn't unless you're of a certain age. I don't remember them.
Okay.
But if you if you do remember these beautiful, Crosley's still around, and they make, look at this. This is a kind of, it looks like a Victrola. It's a record player, but it has a built-in CD burner on it. It's a little expensive. It's $400. But you play back the record and then just press a button and it turns it into a CD. I think this is great. This is for anybody who doesn't yet have a turntable. You've got a turntable, so we won't spend that money for you.
Okay.
So here's what we're going to do. First of all, of course, as you know, or maybe you don't, but I'll tell you, you cannot hook that turntable up directly to the computer. The turntable does not output much of a signal. It actually has to go into a preamp and an amplifier. But you're listening to music on your turntable, you probably have all that.
Right.
So you're going to take the output of the amp, not the output of the turntable.
That's right.
Yeah. There are companies that make USB turntables for this purpose as well. So if another way, maybe cheaper than this, maybe it's only about $129, you can buy a USB turntable and plug it into your computer and it outputs the digital, music. So really all we need now is software. Let me go to the Mac side of the computer here and we can play with some software. There is some software that's more automated than other software, obviously. You can use GarageBand. You already have that to record. You could download something called Audacity to record. Those are both, free. One because you already have it. One because it's an open source program. All of these will basically you'll plug the amplifier into the input of the Mac, and you'll tell these programs record whatever comes in. You drop the needle, you press record, and you record. Now the problem is you're going to record the whole album, but I don't think that's so much of a problem because you really do want to probably process it a little bit.
That's right.
You want to take out pops, clicks, hiss, and stuff. There's one new program that's also free because it's in beta that I think might be really good for this. It's called Sound Booth. It is from Adobe. And Adobe is, I think, hoping to make a very simple, easy-to-use audio recording and cleaning utility. It's available from adobe.com. If you just do a Google for Sound Booth, you'll see it.
Okay.
And the Beta 2 just came out, and it specifically got filters for taking out pops and clicks, cleaning up noisy audio, and then you'll chop it up into pieces. And you want to do this by hand. There are programs that will supposedly automatically detect the silence and chop up the record into individual MP3s, but frankly, those are not as good.
Okay.
You'll do a better job by hand finding the beginning and the end of the song. So this is another good choice, Sound Booth. Now, some of these programs can output MP3s, some of them can't. That's not such a big deal. If a program that you use, Audacity can, for instance, I don't know if GarageBand can, I don't know if Sound Booth can, but they will output something that iTunes can read and convert into MP3. So that's not such a big deal. In fact, you're going to output probably the higher quality AIFF format, which is an uncompressed format. I really like Sound Booth. I think this is the one to try, especially since it's free until Adobe releases the final version.
Great.
All right?
I will definitely go and take a look at Sound Booth and give it a try.
Three free ways to do this. It's really by hand, but that's fine. I mean, how many records do you have?
Oh, a couple hundred.
Oh, you've been collecting, eh? You know, there are people I know, I have friends who have thousands of LPs, and I really, Sean's one of them. I really wonder what they're going to do. I mean, I guess you just have to keep a turntable. You can never get rid of your turntable because, you know, you're not going to convert thousands of CDs. And to be honest with you, a lot of these older LPs are not yet on CD and may never be on CD. So you got to keep the vinyl, don't you?
Well, there you go. You're right.
I once told my son, hey, let's go to the record store. Actually, we were in the record store. And I said, let's buy some records. And he said, records, what's that? And I realized, oh my gosh, the world has changed and left me behind.
Oh, it has.
They don't know what records are. You say LP, what's an LP?
Yeah, the looks of my kids' face when they first saw them, it was quite hilarious.
Well, I remember going to Grandma's house and seeing 78s. It's just like that, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You bet.
Unbelievable. Hey, thanks, Shane. Enjoy your conversion. That'll be fun. You get to go back through all of these old LPs, listen again. There's no way to do it faster than real time because you have to play back the record and record it. But you know, once you get used to the editing, it won't take you more than half an hour to chop it up and clean it up. Mike Lazazara is here. He is Mr. Free File. And he is giving us a free file that scares the pants off of me. It's the blue screen of death.
Absolutely.
Why would you give me a blue screen of death?
It is such a, something with XP I haven't experienced in a while. And XP was certainly a lot better than previous versions in terms of blue screens.
You haven't
right?
experienced a blue screen lately?
In a while. I haven't got one, actually.
Not in a whole day or two?
But a couple weeks at least. At least a couple weeks, probably a couple months. So I figured, remind me of the old days. This is a blue screen screensaver. And it's perfect for a prank for a friend or a family member who thinks they screwed up their computer and you can put it on there. Which is,
what does it say? Does it actually say?
It'll randomly generate different problems.
Real errors?
Real errors. And it will suddenly, if you take a look, and I'm running it in this window like this because of the way it works on the MacBook Pro.
Okay.
But normally it would go full screen.
Oh, it's going away
so
now.
Look, it's restarting
it's
by
trying
itself.
to boot. Oh, thank goodness.
Right.
I guess XP will be okay.
Okay.
What a relief.
Let's just sit back for a second, make sure it boots okay. And then,
I thought I lost all my files. I
Yeah.
thought all my data was
Yeah,
gone. I mean,
yeah.
I saw that blue screen. My life flashed before my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank goodness. Oh, Windows is going to boot now.
Boot back
Here
up.
we go.
Yeah, here we go.
I love
Here we
that
go.
Windows sound.
Uh-oh. Look at
oh,
now. A bad
no.
pool header.
This is a mean
I
screensaver.
know. But it'd be great, especially if you did it to your IT department, which I don't condone,
I condone it.
But you could put it on your computer and then you call your IT
condone
department
it.
up and they can be freaking out, like, oh my God, what's going on?
Call them up and say, my computer keeps rebooting.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you want to see IT people run, do that.
Of course, as soon as they move the mouse, it gets better.
No, it doesn't.
That's even meaner.
You actually have to hit escape and or quit. No.
Oh, coming up
there
after
you
the
go.
break. Oh.
Okay.
You scared me.
Sorry, Leo.
What's that called?
It's called Blue Screensaver.
I love it. That's
and
so
it's from
funny.
SysInternal. So.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Mark
So now
Russinovich?
it's actually
that's
hosted on Microsoft.
So it's free. Microsoft actually offers it.
Yeah.
I bet they didn't really count on that when they bought SysInternals. No. Oh, there's this one product we really should get rid of.
Yeah.
The Blue Screen Saver. You can get it free from MrFreeFile.com or from our website, callforhelptv.com. We've got over 400 free files there. Coming up, we're going to show you how to make your own super-duper, super functional multimedia PC without spending a dime on Windows or TiVo or the cable company's DVR.
Garbage.
You said it, not me. Right now, though, it's our quiz question of the day. So, who was the Dvorak keyboard layout named after, huh? Was it the great Czech composer Antonín Dvořák? Was it Vernon? Was it August? Is there an August Dvořák? Or was it John C. Dvorak /blog.org/blog? Get to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it when Call for Help continues. Welcome back to Call for Help. Before the break, we asked you who created the Dvorak keyboard layout. I know it wasn't the composer Antonín Dvořák, and I know it wasn't my buddy johncdvorak.org/blog. Must have been either Vernon or August. I'm going to guess August. August Dvorak would be right. He created the Dvorak keyboard as a better way to type because the standard QWERTY keyboard we've all learned to use is actually designed to slow us down, believe it or not. Older style typewriters couldn't keep up with fast typists. They'd jam, so they slowed us down. The problem is we've all learned the QWERTY keyboard. Nobody's learned the Dvorak keyboard, and I don't think very many people have taken the time to try. Now I'm going to get the emails from all those people who go, oh no, I learned how to use it, and it's really great. But what do you do? Okay, let's say you, I really like it. What do you do if you learned it, and then you go and try to use somebody else's keyboard? What do you do? I don't know how to type on a QWERTY keyboard. You're stuck. You're out of luck. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's a do-it-yourself multimedia home theater system. Doesn't have the ring, does it? Today we're joined by Franklin Harris from the great video podcast and audio podcast techfile.ca. He has put together a myth box, and he's going to show you how to do it with no helmets or construction boots involved at all. It's actually pretty simple. But you're doing something surprising to me. I always thought it was a Linux program. You've got it running on Macintosh.
Actually, it runs on 386 architecture, the PowerPC architecture. Anything. Mac Minis.
So it's native to the Mac OS?
Actually, right now what you're seeing is native to just an Intel chipset.
You're in it? Aha. So it's running on a PC down here.
Correct.
And on the Mac, we're seeing the interface.
That's right, the web interface.
You control it.
That's correct.
Ah, I get it. All right, so what is Myth TV?
It's an open source deployment of PVR, personal video recorder.
Okay.
Kind of like a TiVo or
or the DVR you get from your cable company.
Exactly.
Okay.
Except a lot
Windows
more
Media
powerful.
Center actually looks a lot like Windows Media
Yeah,
Center.
well, it's skinnable too. That's the other really nice thing. They've got TiVo skins.
And it's free.
Absolutely, 100% free and community supported.
Okay.
Except much more powerful than TiVo.
Oh, neat.
A lot more powerful than TiVo.
Do you have to have a video card in your computer to do this?
Yeah, you need to have either a TV tuner card, what's called a DVB-T or DVB-S card, which is for terrestrial high def or satellite signal.
Okay. Depending on how you're getting your signal.
That's right. Or you can just have a video capture card, like I have in this one, and I just get the signal from
your cable box.
My cable box, my satellite box.
Good. Watch TV, media library, manage recordings. It's got, this looks good.
It's got everything. It's got a few extra really neat features that might surprise you.
Give us a tour.
The basics obviously is watching TV, and Call for Help here has been nice enough to provide me with a cable connection.
So you have a cable connection going into the box.
That's correct.
And this is basically your interface to your television.
That's right.
So some people would put this in the living room and hook it up to their TV.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so you can.
Do you have to control it with a keyboard?
No. Most TV tuner cards come with a remote control and a little IR sensor.
Okay.
Right.
Good. Okay.
So you just flip through the stations. It's got a guide just like your normal.
Where's the guide come from?
It comes from Zap2Labs.
And is that free?
Absolutely free. Every 3 months you have to answer a survey. That's all they want.
That's great.
They don't want anything else. And they've got it for every major market, every cable company in multiple countries across the world.
Oh, that's really good. Okay.
So, I mean, it's just as simple as picking your station and
it changes
over. And it also allows you to...
Wait a minute, I was going to buy that Perrier cream. Hold on. Can you go? Oh, never mind. I'll do it after the show.
You can watch your recordings.
So it records just like a TiVo does, where you can set a time and it'll record the show automatically.
That's correct.
Does it have the smarts that TiVo does, where you can say, I want every Battlestar Galactica episode, or I want to search for anything that says Battlestar, things like that?
Yes, it does. If I want to find a program, I can find a program based on what it's called, or via the program guide, or manually do a custom recording or a
so you can make rules.
That's correct.
It would make sense that this would be every bit as powerful as any commercial program, because the people who write it just, they see a new feature, they can implement it.
One of the really nice features of it is automatic commercial
Automatic
and skipping, yes.
Automatic. See, that's something you'll never see in a TiVo or a commercial recorder.
Absolutely
because
not.
the networks had hit the roof.
That's right.
But they can't stop an open source company from doing that.
So as you just saw there,
it just skipped.
It just automatically skipped the commercials, and it'll skip to a commercial and then skip all the commercials right.
And
across.
it's pretty smart. It does a good job of that.
It does an excellent job. It uses
you trust it?
Yeah, blank frame detections and a bunch of other really neat technical mumbo jumbo things.
That is so slick.
It also allows you to take your DVD library. You can play DVDs. You can import DVDs, back them up directly to the box.
Even if they're copy protected?
Even if they're copy protected.
So it has built-in DCSS.
That's correct, yes. You can...
This must make the movie companies, the networks, everybody's going crazy over this. But who do you sue? It's open source.
It also
Wait a minute,
gives you
phone?
That's right. It also gives you the ability to sit in your living room.
Yeah.
If you have a Netflix account, I don't, because here in Canada I can't get one.
You can manage it?
You can manage it. You can see what's in your queue, browse movies, look at your rental history. If you have a VoIP phone system, you can connect it to your TV. View news feeds.
How heavy duty a system do you have to make this work?
It depends. I myself have got this box, which is a pretty beefy box. It's a 3 gigahertz P4. It's got 2 gigs of RAM, small hard drive, only about 80 gigs. It's about an hour a gig, and I have a network file server at
So
home.
it's an 80-hour recorder,
That's
but
correct.
you can also record off to other media.
That's right.
And then what kind of tuner cards do you recommend? Do you want
actually,
an ATI All-in-Wonder or?
No. The
Myth will tell you what they
That's right. If you go
recommend.
to the mythtv.org, the website lists all the compatible hardware.
I'm very tempted to do this and hook it up to my... here's a question. High def.
Yes, absolutely. All you got to get is a high def video card.
Oh, wow.
And it does, as I was having a conversation with Alex Lindsay earlier, it does H.264 decoding.
So here's our Mac Break video, which is 1080p. So it recorded this in high quality.
It actually has a podcast catcher.
Oh, it
as well.
downloaded it.
That's right, downloads it.
Now, you are looking at it from your Mac, so you also have an interface via the Macintosh device.
That is correct.
Or
There's
any computer by a
any
web
computer,
browser.
Any computer. And it
Even your
allows you
pocket
to do-
PC or your phone.
Yep. It allows you to...
Can you watch videos from it?
No, you can't, but what you
you're
can
controlling
do,
it on the TV?
You can stream videos using a VLC client.
Oh, okay.
So wherever you are. So you
That's
can,
a free program also.
Exactly. So you go to Stream TV, you pick which recordings you want streamed.
How hard is this to install?
With the NotMyth installation, it's really easy.
That's just a one disc, boom.
One disc install, answer a bunch of questions. As long as you have the compatible hardware, like I said, listed on the website, you're good to go.
I'm building this.
Oh, and let's not forget the iPod feature.
What's that?
You can have Myth TV convert and compress all your recordings in H.264 at either 320 by or 640 by 480, and create an iPod feed, and it just downloads them.
And then I'll sync it up to my Apple TV, and then I'm set. Franklin Harris is brilliant, brilliant. He's also the host and producer of the Tech File podcast. You'll find that at techfile.ca, and a new one, Simple Reboot.
Yeah, and digitalunderground.tv.
He's a very busy fella. You'll find all of this at nsiteproductions.com.
Correct.
I don't know how you do it. And he's got a day
Keeps me
job
busy.
and a new baby.
Yes.
Visit it at Call. You have a new baby, right? I didn't make that up?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, you didn't. You didn't make it up.
I didn't want to give you a baby you didn't have. Visit us at callforhelptv.com. We got links to all of this and more. Our final thoughts coming up right after this. Stay here. Welcome back to Call for Help. You know, we look at something like Myth TV, and I think the main reason that you don't see Hollywood and the networks going crazy over this stuff is they figure you've got to be pretty geeky. This is hardcore geeks. But I'm telling you, a lot of hardcore geeks are using this and doing amazing home entertainment systems. It's just mind-blowing. We're almost out of time. I'll tell you what, let's adjourn now, but convene tomorrow and do this all over again. If you've got a question for us, go to our website, callforhelptv.com. We'll try to get you on the show. Remember, if you've got a problem with your personal confuser, don't whine, don't moan, don't yell. What are you going to do? Call for help. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.